Hey there, it's Lynnette Khalfani-Cox, the Money Coach. I'm the co-founder of AskTheMoneyCoach.com and Money Coach University. I want to teach you today about some differences and what you can expect when you look at your credit reports, regardless of whether you pull an Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion credit file. Now, first you need to understand that the data for all your credit reports is going to have 5 areas: your personal information, a summary of your accounts, public records, inquiries, and consumer statements. But you also want to know some of the key differences that you're going to encounter as you examine your 3 different credit reports. So let's kind of delve right in, starting with some of the highlights from Equifax. Now, your Equifax report is the only one that's going to summarize your open accounts and closed accounts. It makes it way easier to distinguish this information and to choose which accounts you want to address and kind of look at first. With Experian and TransUnion, all your accounts are kind of grouped together and just listed alphabetically. Equifax also shows you an 81-month credit history for your accounts. In some cases, though, particularly for paid or closed accounts, you'll even see a statement saying no 81-month payment data is available for display. That's depending on the account. Now, Experian credit reports contain a unique feature that many people kind of find very enlightening. For all of those accounts that are listed in your credit file, Experian is going to show you status details indicating when an account is scheduled to fall off of your credit report. So let's say you paid off an auto loan back in July 2008, and that's on your report. The account is scheduled to continue on your record until July 2018. You might have something that was a collection account. Maybe it got written off by a creditor. Some of you really might want to know about this if you had negative marks on your credit, because you might be wondering, how long is this blemish going to haunt you? Well, that critical status detail in that section of your Experian report will tell you this precise information, when that stuff is going to go away. With Experian credit files, you'll also see a balance history for any accounts that are still open, or for those accounts with closed balances, but something that's outstanding. The balance history information in your Experian report can date back 10 years. It has a section in the balance history that shows what your high credit amount is, your high credit balance has been, and over different time frames. So if you have accounts that have been opened for a very long time, the balance history data is going to reflect whatever time period you actually opened the account. So it could say, for example, between September 2008 and March 2010, your credit limit or balance was X, $5,000 or whatever. It'll give you the exact time frame. TransUnion, though, has the most thorough employment data section in your personal summary. You can update or correct any of those fields, including your current or your previous employer's name, as well as the positions you held, the date you were hired, all that kind of stuff. Now, this kind of data is not going to improve your credit score, but it is important to know if you're seeking a loan in the future, it's helpful to have that information very accurately reflected in your credit report to show a lender your hire date for a job or the specific length of time you've been at an employer. TransUnion reports list satisfactory and unsatisfactory accounts as well. They have these kind of color-coded boxes. They're white, green, yellow, orange, and red. And they have words or numbers inside of them to indicate your payment history. Now, a white box with an X indicates unknown information. A green box, that's the ones you want to see, with an OK signals your payment is current. If you have a yellow box with the number 30, that means you were 30 days late on a payment. An orange box with 60 means you were 60 days or more late. A red box with 90 means you were 90 days late. A 120 number means you were 120 days late. You get the point, right? TransUnion also will say NA, something like that, to indicate not applicable for various accounts. Now, some of you might be also wondering those strange codes that you see on your credit report and what that means. When you're examining your credit reports, you might see a hodgepodge of what they call codes or letters, especially in the inquiries section. that indicates who has seen your credit files. And some of the abbreviations for those files reference some little factoid, something that is relevant or important to you or to potential other creditors or lenders. So here's what some of those inquiry codes mean and what they say. You might see this code PRM. Those kind of inquiries with that prefix PRM indicate that only your name or your address was given out to a prospective credit grantor. It was somebody who wanted to see what your credit was like so they could offer you some kind of credit or insurance. Now that PRM inquiry is going to remain active on your credit report for 12 months. There's another code you should know. It's AM or AR. Now, these inquiries are initiated by one of your creditors as kind of a routine review. They're checking your credit files, basically. They're keeping tabs on you. Those kind of inquiries with the AM or AR code are also going to be reported on your credit file for 12 months. Okay. Now, only you're going to see these. So, by the way, don't worry about these and think, oh my gosh, all these inquiries are going to hurt my credit score. No, these are not inquiries that are going to hurt you at all. So just be aware of that. But I just want to explain what these codes actually mean. Now, have you ever been in the market for a job and an employer has pulled your credit report? You might have had another code with the initials or acronym EMPL. So, as you might suspect, that kind of inquiry with that prefix indicates that it was an employment inquiry. Those stay active on your credit report for 2 years, 24 months, just like a hard inquiry. But again, unlike a hard inquiry, it does not hurt your credit score or your credit report or your credit health in any way. Then there's a code that has the letters PR. No, we're not talking about public relations. This is an inquiry with a creditor who's reviewed your account as part of a portfolio that they were purchasing. Again, those PR inquiries stay active for 12 months. Okay. Then there's a code ND, yet another one. ND is a prefix about a general inquiry. And basically, it's just kind of like do not display to credit grantors. Don't ask me why they put this one up there, but it's one of the codes that you might see on your credit report, and those typically stay on there for 24 months. The initials NDMR are another set of inquiries, a prefix that indicates that it was the reissue of a mortgage credit file containing information, specifically from your Equifax file. They do it if it was transmitted to another company in connection with a mortgage loan. That ND inquiry can stay on there and active for 24 months. So all of these codes, they can seem confusing, but you should know there's actually another source where you can go to look up some code, and it's called reasoncodes.org. This was a website created by VantageScore, the creators of the VantageScore. You'll recall I taught you in another session were the 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They got together, they created a VantageScore more than a decade ago, back in 2006. They created the VantageScore, and now they have this website, reasoncodes.org, where you can check out any code that you see from your credit report and understand what the code means. So I hope this has been some helpful information for you to understand some of the key differences between your Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion credit reports and what all those kooky codes mean on your credit reports as well.